Good afternoon, everyone. It's Vicki Williams, Tennessee State Broker with Epique Realty. I'm so glad you're here for Let's Level Up Friday, where top producing agents and team leaders from around the country are opening their playbooks and sharing their secret sauce with you so that you can reach your next level of success in real estate. And today I'm very honored to have a special guest, Deb Herres from Ohio, joining us on the call. Hello, Deb.
Good afternoon, Vicki. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Let's start with just introducing yourself. Tell us where you are and maybe how long you've been in real estate. And then we're going to jump into some questions today. And at the end of this call, before we hang up, I definitely want to open it up to some questions from you guys for Deb. So be thinking of some things that you can pick her brain about while she's giving us her undivided attention today. So, Deb, introduce yourself.
Hey, so I'm Deb Harris. I'm recently married and I have 9 sons. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I've been in real estate only 2 years. And we'll get into that with some of the questions that Vicki has for me later. But this is a real honor to be here today, Vicki. I love this level up, and we all need to level up, right? All the time. So a great way
Absolutely.
to learn from each other.
Yeah, and I love that Epic has such a collaborative mindset. Like we really pour into each other. We want each other to be successful. We're not holding tight to our secrets and saying, you can't have what I have. This is all mine. So I love that. I appreciate you were one of the first people when I reached out that immediately responded back with, yes, I'd love to do it. So thank you so much, Deb. Okay, so you mentioned being a stay-at-home mom with 9 sons, all boys, right?
Oh, boys. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Were you trying to get a girl? Is that how you had
No,
9? What
no,
happened?
no. I actually was. I, I don't know. We just got, and then now I've got 2 grandsons, and then we've got another baby on the way. We don't know if that's a boy or girl, so maybe a girl. I
Oh,
don't know.
maybe, maybe not.
Just boys
Wow,
in the
nine,
yeah.
9 boys. But on top of having 9 sons, you homeschooled all of them. And they're really impressive what they're doing with their careers now, the older ones. So tell us a little bit about that.
They are all doing well. Some of it I can't. One of them's in the Navy. One's studying to be a doctor right now. One is actually doing a lot of great filming and video. They're all make me so proud. And one of the great things, my fifth son, he's buying his first home, and we're closing on it on Tuesday. And I had the honor to be able to help him be a part of this process. He's only 21 years old, and he's got himself a beautiful home, and he had a nice down payment. And I mean, what a joy, to have watched him as a little one and then have that life and then this life now and be a part of that. So, yeah, good stuff.
That is really cool. That is going to make me cry because
Yeah, I know. We're closing on Tuesday. So, all the things is the appraisal. And it's been great to be able to see the joy in first time home buyers, even through him. So it makes it even extra special.
love that, Deb. Well, what would you say in that life experience you've had of being a stay-at-home mom and homeschooling 9 children that has helped shape the way you approach real estate?
Everything. Everything. And you don't know things until you get there later in life and you look back and say, wow, that really shaped me. But when you have that many kids, and we moved around a lot, and we moved around, there you have all these different kids, and you have all these different subjects, and they're all different grades. So five subjects for the 10th grader, five, 6 subjects for this one. Then you have a toddler, you might be pregnant with another one. And you just by default, whether you like it or not, anything you start off new, there's a learning curve to it. And I was able to really get that down when I was the very, very beginning years of homeschooling. It made me realize I've got to have a system. I've got to have a plan. I've got to be able to see how I can do all this with not for the long haul without burnout. And it's the same thing with my real estate business. You have a lot of stuff and a lot of deep levels in all these areas, and you have to learn how you're going to do this for the long haul without burning out. And what's that system going to look like? How are you going to put that in place? Yeah.
Yeah, systems are something that without them, you can still be successful, but it's going to be harder. It's going to be a lot harder, right? Without systems. Yeah. So you like to work smarter, not harder. Uh,
Yes. Mhm.
So you also didn't start this career until you were a little later in life, right? You were in your 50s, early 50s when you started real estate. What would you say to an agent who is considering a brand new career or a brand new journey in their 50s? What kind of encouragement could you give them?
Go for it. Do it. You'll be sorry you didn't do it sooner. I love it. And I think that whether you're starting a new career or whether, life just brings you something different and you're midlife, that's going to be, that's your advantage. That's your edge. You come to the table, um, with all this experience that you've navigated through big life transactions, and you got to think of some examples. So, you're not alone. Vera Wang, would she have her first dress when she was like, her 40, or, the Ray Kroc, McDonald's didn't start till 50, Martha Stewart in her 50s. So, it's not over. Your life is beginning. It's just a different chapter. And, there's a learning curve to it because it's something new, it's unfamiliar, so it just like you would jump into anything. There's this learning curve, and there's this embracing the uncomfortable, and there's this stretching yourself forward and being teachable, and realizing that other people have been in the same situation all over all the time, and you can do it too. That's, yeah, I would say definitely get into it. Yep.
Yeah, because I think that there's some people that are, switching careers that they've had 20, 30 years success into real estate and feeling like I'm behind the curve instead of I'm ahead of the curve. They feel like I can't learn a new system and new processes. And what's this TikTok about? Do I have to do TikTok? All the things, right? And so you have proven that it doesn't matter. It's what's inside.
Right.
And you've attacked real estate. You've done one heck of a job. So let's start about that. Or let's talk about that. So you've been licensed for 2 years. And in your second year of real estate, you made the power agent status at Epique Realty, which is not something easy to do because for those of you that don't know this, you either have to have 24 closed transactions in a calendar year or 10 million in volume. And Deb, you did that your second year of the business. So looking back on your first year, which helped shape your second year, what did that look like for you? How many closings did you have year one? And kind of what lessons came out of that first year of real estate?
Ooh. Well, I think anybody that jumps into it, we already know that first year is kind of wow. It's that everybody talks about it being a fire hose and it's all in your face, and it's true. You're not everything that you did in real estate school. You're going to school all over again. You're just going to school all over again. Everything from you're sorting through the stuff coming through you. Everybody wants your money, and everybody thinks their thing's the best. You've got to have your CRM. Come and listen to this class, and this is what you need for your CRM, and you've got to be on social media. And if you're not doing 50 likes every day and DMing everybody, you got to be doing that. And then we've got this mailer thing, and this got this thing for you just got this stuff coming at you, and you don't know who's trying to dupe you. You don't know who's trying to take my money, and you're trying to hold on to it, and they're taking it, and you're trying to study. So my year looked like trying to sort all the noise, and trying to say no to 1,000 things, and learning how to keep trying to get some houses. I was able to do about 10 transactions that first year. 4 were homes and 6 were leases. And then so you kind of like trying to struggle up and getting the sales, and then trying to struggle up and get the study in, and then trying to get the organization down. So it's a whole that's just going to be a given for anybody that starts. I don't even know if it's this, if you start any industry, it's just going to be that long period. And I think the important thing is to just try to cut out the noise. Steve Jobs said it best, where he said, you say no to 1,000 things. You have to learn the difference between what you're focusing on and what all the noise is. And you can't go to everybody telling you this is the most important, this is the most important. You listen to the people that have been in the industry for a long period of time, and you listen to what they're saying, you be teachable. You look at what you have in front of you and what can you do, because there's just a million things to learn, but not everything needs the same level of focus. And that's a big part of what I also had gotten from when I raised the boys and teaching them. There's a lot of subjects, and everybody says, you know, my history, that the reason why you have to have history, the reason why you have to have the science, the reason why you have to have all that. So you really have to start learning on what the difference is between something you want to just have an understanding of, something that you just want exposure to, and something that you must master. And so I would say, a lot of that is trying to put them in those categories is how I did it.
Was good. Could somebody put that in the chat? Anybody? Mindy, Melissa, y'all be my admins here. Okay, I'm putting you on the spot. So the three categories that new agents need to decide what goes in which category is something you want to be exposed to, something you want to be a master at, and what's the one in the middle? What'd you say?
Have an understanding of it.
An understanding. So exposure, understanding, and master. I love
Yes.
that, Deb. I've never you think differently from me for sure. Because but look, I love it. You're very analytical. You're like, okay, listen, if we could just structure this, we could we could we
Calm the
could
noise
nail it.
down. We're just trying to calm the
Calm the
noise
noise
down.
down and then we could
Done.
nail it. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that so much. So you also mentioned that when we spoke earlier this week, we had a great conversation, and you said when you started, you didn't treat real estate as just a job, but as a lifestyle. What does that mean, and how did that shape your mindset?
Because it was not something I'm going to clock in and out of every day. This industry, or anything, maybe that's my personality. But when I'm going to do something, I really want to do it well. I will never be a person that, I mean, the old saying, and what is that? Jack of all trades, master of none, and my mom taught me that from when I was a kid. It really is true. And there's just so many things out there, and you can't be a part of it all. And you have to look at what's in front of you and say, well, how do I want to do this? And for the long haul, everybody jumps in something for a little bit, but to make to make it in your to make it, whether that's a diet or whether that's practicing an instrument, it's got to be kind of part of your lifestyle. If you really love it, if you really decided to get into something and you say, I really want to do this, do you? And so believe yourself. I went in this for a reason, and I want to make it part of my lifestyle when I get up. And so there are some things and parts of my day where you need a mind break. You're sitting in there and you're trying to study out your CRM, trying to figure out how to automate things, or you're trying to figure out what would you do for events, or what would you do here. And again, sorting those things into those three categories is key. And then just pivoting through the day like that. Even when I go on my dates, my husband Brian has been a big part, got me into real estate, and said, I think you would do well with this. I think you would do. So for example, part of making that as a date, I mean, even the way he gives gifts, or he's encouraging, and having a good team around you. And so, like, here's he bought this. Look at this. See this? See these are those ducks, right?
Yeah, the ducks you told me about. So tell them about your duck
I think it's
idea, Deb.
hysterical. It's just, okay, so you're already going to go on a date, or you're already going to go out to dinner, or you're already going to be apart. So being part of a lifestyle, we're already going to go out anyhow. We need to spend time together. But with him being a part of it, he's like, hey, what do we do? We go Jeeping. And so if you've ever been to one of these Jeep things, they have these long rows of Jeeps, and people go along with these Jeeps and they put the ducks on them. And he's like, hey, what do we get these? And we can put them out and do it for marketing and put them on. And I'm like, okay. So it's just like part of your life. Instead of just going someplace, pivot it a little, make it who you are, make it part of your life. If you're going to sit in the car, listen to a good audiobook that's going to help. And then also listen to music too, do that balance. That's kind of how I make it a lifestyle. And I do it more, everybody talks about an 80-20 rule, and people use them different ways, but I use that with my food. I use that with my time, in my real estate. So you concentrate on something 80%, and the other 20%, the hell with it. Just you be you, like, enjoy life. And I don't worry about always making showing up only 60% or showing up 50% is better than not showing up at all. So that's kind of how I make it a lifestyle. It's just going to have to be, it's just not an option.
It's who
So
you are. It's
yeah,
not what you do. You
yeah,
don't do real estate. You are a realtor. You
right,
identify as a realtor.
right. And there's so many different areas in real estate that you can find one that, probably suits your personality. There really is something for everybody.
Yeah, we talked about that too. I think we might touch on that later, but can you show someone a close up of one of your ducks? What's on your duck?
We haven't even pulled them out yet. He just got them. And at first I'm like, oh, maybe they're a little, I don't know. Here's a little brown one. I don't
Has it
know.
got the power symbol on it, or do
Oh,
you
no,
do?
we still have to do them.
So, what are you going to do with your
He
duck?
got these little tags. So this is, and
Okay.
that'll probably be some, but it's just part of, I don't know. I don't,
So, you tag your duck with your QR code or your
yeah,
name
and
and phone
so,
number. And yeah,
so
it's just marketing. It's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, just little things.
So, now, now let's talk about how building a business has been for you. A big part of your success we talked about has come from some authentic connections, especially women going through divorce. You took your experience, your life experience, you created a network around that, and that has helped you build a business. So, how did you position yourself with this network of women so that they would know that you were an agent and someone that they could trust with their business? What did that look like for you?
I think that, yeah, and that's a little bit difficult for me, and we'll touch on that another thing, but on another question. But you position yourself honestly just kind of by being yourself, and even if it's kind of ugly or whatever, people are going through real stuff. And they might be going through financial difficulty. They may be going through a divorce. They may have been going through a health issue. And if you've had those kinds of things, naturally people connect. You're already positioned. And a lot of times we take those ugly things and we don't want to do them. We put them aside because it might trigger something or it brings up too much hurt or it is just too stressful. So we put it aside instead of embracing that and being able to use that and be compassionate towards others and letting them talk and tell their story. And I didn't hide the fact that real estate became my way forward after the divorce. And a lot of people find themselves in a situation, it was a means to provide for myself. There's finances out there as a reality. And or you're going to go back to college, you're going to what are you going to do? Real estate's a fantastic way for people to be able to take care, have a short period of study and study it over and over. And you know what? I studied that exam. I passed it on the fifth time. I mean, I was going through this divorce. I was going through parental alienation, going through all kinds of things that real people feel. And yeah, you need to feel the feelings, but you don't stay in them. You gotta say, yeah, that's happening. But if you sit around and in a fetal position in bed and say, "Woe is me," and life's not gonna, where are you gonna go? It's just not practical. The bills are gonna come. You've got new chapters to build. Get there and listen to people's stories, and you can say, "Yep, I've been there. I've been through that," and that just sets up because these people in these situations sometimes they need to move and locate with their health situations. But in divorce they have a house to sell and that kind of comes up on the side that comes up out of just by already connecting with somebody because of who you are instead of pushing it aside and trying to be somebody you're not. Does that make sense?
Embrace the hurt and be vulnerable and transparent because people are automatically attracted to that. Listen, I'm going to call Mindy out right now on this call. So, Mindy, you know, I am very transparent. So I'll be like talking to people going, God, I was so broke. I couldn't even pay my MLS fees. And she'll be like, don't tell people that. Like, why would you want to? Because it's true. And I'm not, it's true. And I think people can identify with being broke. Everybody's been broke at some point in their life, whether it's every day and every month or whether it's once in a while. We can all know what that feels like to be stressed about finances, right? And so Mindy's come around though, haven't you, Mindy, a little bit?
A little
You're
bit.
kind of, huh?
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. So anyhow, I love that you care about people and you share authentically. And instead of just giving advice and like saying, oh, well, this is what you should do. This is where I feel like you should go. You're like, this is me. This is what happened to me. And this is what I did. And you told me the other day that you're actually encouraging these women, several of them, to get into real estate. Some of them are actually getting their license right now because of the inspiration that you've showed them that you can do this.
Right. Yeah, you just leading into who you are. You know, we cannot we I cannot stress that enough. This world is filled with so many fake things, so many shiny things. It's really hungry to just hear the truth. And don't be embarrassed. Like embrace yourself. Stop. Like that is so huge to just be okay with who you I'm getting older and I make a little joke. I got this chin down here and I'm like, look, 55, look, 55, look, 45.
Yeah.
Right? Into the
55.
hang, right? I'm not, these are my battle wounds, right? Be proud of them. And it's
Yeah.
okay if you're broke. You don't have to stay there, but it's okay to say I am. It's okay to
Yeah.
say I'm getting wrinkles. It's okay. There's other ways through that, but people relate to what's real. And if you're gonna, yeah, you can jump in the game. We're all they could do it well. But is that really like bring the true joy and is it going to really bring the money that you earned by you being who you are and digging and driving into that and cutting out that noise?
Love that.
So your niche is, something that too, that's a big part of that.
And that leads to my very next question because we talked about niching. And I like to say it's really important to niche down early. If you try to be really good at too many things, you can't identify with the right client sometimes, try to just be able to do it all. And so a lot of agents do struggle with finding their niche. How would you encourage a new agent to lead into what makes them unique? What should they be thinking or asking themselves?
Well, again, it's probably hiding in your own story.
Hmm.
So, and you might not even like it. That's kind of might even be the truth. It's kind of sometimes it just falls in your lap and it's part of your own story. And you may say, again, you get into real estate, you see all the shiny things. Oh, it'd be so great to be in luxury, it'd be so great to be in commercial, it'd be so, but you know what? What fell on my lap was divorce. And it was something I really don't want to talk about it. I'm done. That chapter's done in my life, and I have a brand new happy chapter now. But if I hide of who that is and I don't go into that, those things come more natural to me because people are going through those very things that I relate to. At my age, if somebody's younger and they're in their 20s, they're going to have a whole different type of thing that they're going to excel at and be able to relate to others too and tap into. Maybe that is where they're struggling financially and they need to be teachable to other people in the industry. So just diving down who you are, being comfortable with who you are, and don't be ashamed of yourself. That probably is your place if you just keep working at you and getting it a little bit better and a little bit better and refining and growing and moving that needle. You will find your place, and you won't have all the people, but you'll have your people, and you'll have where you love to. And that what does that help? That helps the long term. That helps you. You're in it for the long. You're not going to burn out in something that's already you. So don't hide from that and just embrace it and lean into it. It's authentic and people can relate to that. It'll
Great
serve them.
advice. Great advice, Deb. Okay, so your structure, that's you, Deb Systems Harris. I'm gonna nickname you now. So here we go. You're very disciplined on
Yeah.
time management and systems, and you've actually compared your real estate time management system to when you homeschooled, like where with homeschooling you made math and reading the priority because you knew those were the core things that you had to instill in your children. Like let's get math and reading done first, then we can focus on the other stuff. You prioritized it, and those became non-negotiables with your homeschooling schedules. Tell us how you've translated that into your real estate activities.
Same thing. And I'm going to go back again to those three things. You can't lay out a structure unless you're going to uh, understand what you have to master and then understand what you're going to just have exposure to and what you're just going to have an understanding. If you get those straight and then you sit down at your planner and you start at that year and then you break them into months, quarters, your weeks and your day, and then you get that schedule for the day and you have that book, Eat That Frog, and that means you do that the first thing in the morning and what is the main priority that you have to get done. And in this industry, for me it is, it's prospecting. That's what's going to bring the money. That's the that's what's going to bring it. And we don't like sometimes just the plain old lead generation, lead follow up, and how are you going to get that done? And you spend those hours and you focus first thing in the morning, your head is clear and it's a non-negotiable. And these are also usually the things that you can't catch back up on. So if you can't just sit down an afternoon and do all your prospecting, expect all the stuff to come. You have to do this slow, like you're like a child is learning math systematically every day, piece by piece will bring the mastery. So those kind of things you put in your time block, you put this first thing, and you turn your phone off, you don't answer emails, you let people around you know this is what I'm doing, and you embrace it, whether you like it or not, or whether you feel like it or not. You got to tell yourself who's boss. So, when you're all fired up after, PowerCon or something, you come back, but you got to set up for the times that you're not feeling well. What are you going to do when you're feeling a little lazy or somebody calls? You got to set those things and don't make it so big that it's not achievable. I'm going to do, instead of doing like 4 hours, if you hear somebody else, again, that's not you. If you can do two, then do two. It's better than not showing up at all. And then the other things in the day, you kind of time block those. That's what I did with the kids. You can't catch up on math and reading. If you did something like history, American history, for example, you could probably sit down in an afternoon on June, and sit down and for 4 or 5 hours throughout the day, or six with a couple breaks in between, study American history and go through. And I bet you by the end of August, beginning of September, you'll have a very good understanding of that. That's something you could catch up on. That's something that if you had to push aside, you can do that. You can catch up on, Canva. You can't catch up on sometimes if so just carry us straight, and it should be able to give you a good flow of your day and how to structure it without long-term burnout.
Okay, so you treat those as your absolute non-negotiables, the things that you want to master. So if someone wanted to master open houses, for example, they would need to non-negotiable do open houses probably for a weekend, right? Saturday and a Sunday morning, a Sunday, what did I say? A Saturday morning and afternoon, and a Sunday morning and afternoon. Like if you're going to do it and do it well and time
Yeah.
block it and make it non-negotiable, right?
Yes, and research it first before people start and say, I think, and take one person, take two or three different people in this for a long time, and just do what they say. Really do what they say. If they, I heard, but if somebody's saying I'm getting success by doing them by 1 hour, and I can get two in, and I can do a couple during the weekend, and this is the day I need to plan on them, listen to it, and then start seeing, put that in your morning time as part of what you're going to do for prospecting. It's non-negotiable. Again, you can't have all of them that way. You've got to choose for you what you're going to do. And this industry offers so many different things. There's so many different ways of lead generation. So,
Yep. Be true to yourself. Don't commit to something that you don't say you're going to do something that you know you're not going to commit to.
yeah.
You also talked this past week when we spoke that you got into hiring a virtual assistant, a VA, pretty quickly, even though you were a new agent. And I think some people are on the mindset like, let me wait till I get to the point to where I'm at this level of success before I hire a VA. Your philosophy is completely different because you believe that it actually helped you scale faster. So tell us what that decision looked like for you.
Yes, anything to scale faster is going to be something, and you can jot those down. Delegate and automate. You don't
Delegate and
have
automate.
time to Yeah, you don't have time to sit there and play around in Canva when you're trying to learn your CRM. If CRM is important to you, a VA can do your Canva. A VA can organize your email. You're going to go on bunny trails looking through the email, looking through all the different things, and trying to sort out junk, spam, this, that. They can organize your dot loop. They can organize your email. They can grow with you. You're at a place when you start off new that they can do all those little things, and you can work on the study. You've got a lot of learning to do the first couple of years. I'm still going to be doing a lot of learning. So when we do all of that learning, how are you going to be really in depth, mastering something, learning how to master it, refining, getting it one-on-one with your mentor and asking specific questions about a contract when you're sitting over here playing in Canva and somebody else can make it for you. So, and that's in your systems. If AI is out there, It's there. It's a good thing. It's not going away, and it can automate things for us. We don't have to be fiddling around. And if you even need to pay somebody, that's worth the price to get it automated, get it done and out of the way so that those things are all working in the background. And even that, even in your house, if you can afford and get a little vacuum cleaner, the little robot one, you don't need to spend time doing that. So just get some things in place that you can delegate, or if something else can be doing something for you. And even little things like, do you know that people spend, my biggest thing is time wasting. We don't have much time, and we don't realize how much time we spend in the little frivolous things. And I saw something, Stephen Bartlett, he has a great show I like to listen to called The Diary of a CEO, and he has this thing on time saving and the people that even just dress it. He always wears black, and when you the time that we spend trying to pick out what we're going to wear, shop for it, decide, change it again. Oh, well, my butt doesn't look good in that. Let me put these pants on, whatever it is. It ends up like wasting 2 hours of your life. And it's just nothing. It's nothing. And how about the time we spend, just scrolling and scrolling on social media, which is another thing a VA can do. We don't need to spend all of that time on social media wondering what everybody else is doing out there, while we're trying to build ourselves. We're wishing we could be like when you already have everything within you. And VA can go on there and wish people happy birthdays. They can go on there, and when there's something important, they can let you know. And so to me, it's all the whole crux of it, the whole foundation is about saving time so that we can have time freedom with the people that we love, and with the little that we never know when we get a phone call and something can be under. I went with that. I had a son that had gotten diagnosed with osteomyelitis when he was around 10 years old. His whole femur was eaten up. It's terrible. You get one phone call, your life is gone and changed. And he survived all of that. But this is real life, and we have to hold it and always remind ourselves and be very mindful of what kind of things are trying to steal stuff away. So having a VA and having these AI things in place, or automated things, or time saving. Don't worry about what other women are doing to make themselves look like good little mommies because they're making homemade bread. Whatever. You go buy a good one from a bakery and support your local business and call it a day. It's so worried about folding your damn sheets like Martha Stewart. She had my husband could fold the sheets like, oh, perfect. Those fitted sheets. Oh my God, I hate the fitted. I just take a pillowcase. They're all nice and clean and they smell good. I put 3 pillowcases in. I shove the fitted sheet in. I shove the little thing. I fold it over, smush it in the closet. Looks like it's folded, and call it a day. There's no laundry police coming after you. But the time that it takes, and it's not a lot. Like nobody say, oh, I don't worry about that. It doesn't. Yeah, it's like death by paper cuts, like one and one and one and one and one. But you add them up and it's a lot. So just being mindful of, hey, is this something I can automate in my business? Is this something I can delegate in my business? Is this something I could hire somebody to do? There are things that you need to do. Nobody else can do it for you. You need to be with your clients. You need to be hearing them, talking to them, seeing how you can serve your community. That's how you're going to get known and get your sphere of influence. How can you be out with people when you're sitting there again, sorting through Google, trying to, oh, yeah. So yes, that's how they can grow with you. And I think it's just, again, another aspect of time saving so that you can scale faster.
You said start small. Start with 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week. Just start. And then as you grow and as you can afford more time, add more time. But don't wait until you've got it all figured out and then try to bring someone in. Let them grow with you.
Yep.
And you also said, Deb, that they have to believe in you and your vision and your success. They've got to be your rah-rah cheerleader and want you to succeed. So you have to have an intimate relationship with them as well. Not just like, I want you to do ABC, but like, this is why I'm doing this. This is my dream. This is my passion. This is my goal. Are you with me? Or you want to do this with me? Right?
100%. Yep. And that's the same thing that we should be doing all, like you are like the 5 people you hang around. We hear that all the time. And so a person that's going to work that close with you, if they don't have a heart for your business and they can't think ahead, they don't get your vision. And that takes some time sitting down and talking. I had 2 of my VAs, we had the Zoom all day long, and I would sit at my computer, I would be doing my work, and they would be doing theirs. And if they needed to say something, they would pop up, but they would be doing their stuff. And I could guide them through the way my thought process is. One was more tech and one was handled more of social media and some of the marketing. And then they could say, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And then you're right there with them. And then you wean off. And they should be able to, so you got to put in the investment of a good couple of weeks to sit with them. And then if you find that that's not going to work, you've got to be, slow. They say that um, slow to hire and quick to fire. And, they're not there to be your best friend, but just like everybody else around you, you need that support from your family. You need that support from other people in the industry to help you thrive. Because if you're always going, oh, what am I going to do about this person who didn't get this done? How am I going to handle that conflict? Just get it done out of the way, go on to something better because you don't want to be messing with that. Envision yourself 5, 6, 10 years down the road. Do you want to mess with all that? You want to have them grow with you. You want to have them take the joy with you. That's my philosophy.
I love that. I loved when you said that. Like, that was great advice because I could just see someone waiting until okay, well, I'll get a VA when I'm up to 12 transactions a year or when I'm up to X money, then I can afford a VA. You don't have to start with something expensive just to get started.
No, no,
It
you can get them
it
for
encouraged me.
yeah, you can get them 3, 5, $6 an hour. And if you can't do full time, do part time, do half time. They're still getting to know you, even if it's, part time 4 days a week. It's something.
Yeah,
It's something where
something.
you get exposure with them every day and they have a vision and you start with them slow and then you can add to it. And as your business makes more money, you can increase their raise.
I love that. We do have some questions for you at the end about this, a little bit deeper questions, but let me ask you just a few more questions and then we're going to pick your brain some more. So, you told me that you're also a researcher at heart, that you really do dive deep into tech, AI, your tools. Many new agents, we discussed this the other day, kind of try to avoid that side of the business because it's not fun. It's not fun. But you do believe that mastering your tools is just as important as working with a client, and they have to
Yeah.
go hand in hand. So, talk to our new agents that are saying, I don't want to do that. I just want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, you and me too. Especially when we're older. All that tech is just, and it just keeps changing. But again, it's going to be your best friend. And, kind of like when my kids would, they would roll out the pizza dough. If you've ever made pizza dough, or mess with dough, you're rolling it and it like springs right back. And then you roll it and it makes you upset. You're like you're fighting the seatbelt. Like, if you just like take a breath, take it down, roll it down, and just accept it. We're not going to be able to change AI. It's here. The tech is here. And you can do it. You can snub your nose to it and say, I'm not doing it. And that'll work. You can build a house with a hammer. But the blunt truth is that people who know how to master their systems with AI today and they grow with it and they put themselves in a situation where that's going to help them, their agents are just going to they're going to scale quicker. They're going to implement their things, consistently, and naturally they're just going to scale faster. It's like if somebody built with a hammer versus a power tool. This is here, and again, it's all about saving time. Now, it means you're going to get done, but the agents who embrace it, it's not going to take AI is going to take over a lot of jobs. It's not going to take over a roofer's job. And but there are a lot of jobs that are going to just go away with it. The more, Grok is out. It's crazy the things that Grok can do, or the things that are on the horizon. It's mind blowing. But our industry, we're kind of in between. It's not going to take over your job as being an agent, but the agents who can master it and get those emails and those texts and they're natural and they get in there and they take the time that looks like a natural text, the very same thing that you would actually say they're just going to scale fast. They're going to get it done faster.
Mm.
So that's why whether you like it or not, it's here. And if that's what your goal is to scale quickly and make more so you can have time freedom and make the same thing. You can have better streams of income if you're using AI even on some of the side streams of income. Wherever you can set up a VA, wherever you can set up something that's automated, you're going to be able to do more so you can have more time so you can enjoy the very thing that you're working for and remember that you got into this industry. You don't check in at 9 to 5. You're the boss. You're the boss. So you tell that automated thing what to do. You tell that VA what to do. Don't let things control you. Take a breath and say, this is how I want my business. That's my goal and this is how I'm going to get there. And I don't think you can do that today without really
Like,
using your
I
time.
just want to like drop the mic when you said that. Like, you're the boss. Like, don't let your business run you. Run your business.
Right.
Love
Yep.
it. Love it. Okay. So real estate was not an option for you. Once you decided that you were going to be a real estate, it no longer became an option. You went all in, you decided that you were going to be successful. Why was
Yeah.
that mentality so critical for someone like starting off? Like, why is that so important?
Because bills are not an option. Vacations are not going to be an option. You know, gifts and Christmas time gifts with a lot of the kids and grandkids is not an option. You have to have a means of making money, and you have to have, and that's just practical. That's just the truth. And you have to find a way to do it. And whatever way that is to do it, you need to jump in and decide, like I said earlier, this is who I'm going to be. This is my identity, Deb Herres Realtor. This is my identity. This is what I do. This is how I help people. This is how I make it my lifestyle. And you get in there and you burn the bridges. You do not look back. You don't give yourself, take down the escape doors, the exit doors. And because when you're in something, you'll figure out a way. And there's so many, it's not like you're in this and you're stuck making coffee for everybody for the rest of your life. If you don't like open houses and you've done that, well then pivot over here and go, I don't know, cold call. If you don't like that, go. There's so many things. So it's not like you're just stuck doing one thing. There's a plethora of stuff that real estate, this industry offers us, and just embrace it. Don't even give yourself an option. Well, I enjoyed being a teacher. I enjoyed being this. I enjoyed being, well, you already made a decision to get in here. Trust yourself and go for it.
Great advice, Deb. You've said that real estate has opportunities for every personality type, from introverts to extroverts, from creatives to system people. Can you share a few of examples from your own experience, how leaning into your strengths instead of copying someone else's business model has helped you become so successful?
Yeah, again, we're just, we're get back to saying, if somebody's an empath person, embrace that. And you can you're going to find compassion and help towards people. If somebody is a creative, they can do more of the marketing. If somebody is more of a control and they enjoy that kind of power, they're going to be wonderful with, all the networking and all those things. So again, it's back to you embracing who you are and your personality and staying. If you're a paper person and you're a quiet person in the back, there are so many people would pay you to help them and be a part of a team and help them with those contracts. There's so like all those places a team can use, a family can use. We all have a place.
Absolutely. Okay, last question, then we're going to open it up to some Q&A for you. Oh, two questions, I'm sorry. So first question is, looking ahead, I want to know, what does your next level up look like, and where do you see your business heading in the next 2 to 3 years?
More systems, more tripling down, listening more, meeting more people, helping more people, learning, staying up with AI better, and all of those kind of things. And I'd like to get a couple of investment properties and get some more streams of income. I can just keep doing me and then just try to keep doing it better, dig into what I'm doing. So that hopefully that keeps going, and then readjust and pivot when I'm told you're doing it wrong. Okay, show me the right way to do it. So,
So don't get comfortable where you're at. Comfort is not growth, right? So keep growing, keep learning, keep trying to do better. And then finally, do you have a favorite book, podcast, or mentor that has inspired your growth that you would recommend the agents listening to this call to check out?
yeah, like I mentioned, I love Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. There's another one, 12-week year, that's been very helpful with Brian Moran. And of course, 10X by Grant Cardone. Podcasts. I love in Epic, we have an amazing guy, Robert Bean. He's on YouTube, and I would really encourage people to. I love that one, and I love the another one called Diary of a CEO, and there's one called Level Up by Vicki Williams.
Ah,
That's a great one. And
it's
then
getting
for
there.
men, yeah, for mentors, I would have to mention my husband has been fantastic, has been a good just sometimes you realize sometimes your greatest help are the people that are already there in your life. Epic has given me a fantastic area leader. Reed Young has been in the industry for 40 years. This guy is fantastic with his knowledge. Things where, I contract stuff for mortgage things, insurance things. We have people around us that we can tap into, and he has become, just such a great friend. And then I have a coach, Laura Dahl. She has a system called Real Success Blueprint. It is fantastic. If anybody ever wants to jump in and get some coaching like that, she's got materials and she's been in the industry for over 25 years. Fantastic lady. So those are my favorites.
I'm so glad you mentioned them because when I was at my previous brokerage, I can't talk today. I would look from afar at people like Laura Dahl and Robert Bean, and I would just have so much admiration for them. I never knew I was going to be working shoulder to shoulder with them. And now that I'm at Epic and they are like right here in my family, I'm just like, I love this so much. We have so much talent and wisdom and
They're fantastic.
coaching
I
with
came
each.
in under, like Laura's my coach. I came in under her, and I believe she's underneath Robert. And then at
Yes,
PowerCon, all of us got a power. I mean, they're fantastic. So just being around the right people can really,
yes.
it's amazing. Again,
It's
you become
amazing.
like the five people you hang around with.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, I want to allow some people to ask some questions. I'm going to start with what's in the chat and then we'll just open it up and then you can just raise your hand or come off mute and ask Deb questions. So one of them is so questions are popping up when you were talking about VAs, but let's talk about, first of all, um, what is your non-negotiables in the morning? What does your prospecting look exactly like? Are you calling sphere, past clients, cold calling? What does that 2 or 4 hours look like for you?
Some of it's other agents, because a big part of my business that I would like to continue to work on is helping other agents. I'm not here to bring other agents into a company. I just love talking to other agents. I have a plethora of different agents that I have spoken to for my last business. I've met so many, and just kind of talking and following up with them. That's a big part of what I love doing, and if past clients, and but most of it right now today is all about the other agents. How's your business going? And I'm not here to bring. If they offer something, I kind of joke around, and some of it's kind of fun. They're very close in their companies, but yet they're amazing human beings, fantastic professionals, and I love them. And so just kind of keeping that long-term relationship with them, and whether they leave that company or not, I'm not here to. And I always tell them, hey, if your company offers something better than what mine does, I'm all ears. I'm uh, try it. I don't know, but give me a call. Let's do it down. But yes, I do enjoy that. And if it's not that, it's the study time that you take. It doesn't have to be straight phone calls for 3 hours straight all the time. It can just be, how am I going to get this system in place that's automated to reach my sphere of influence? How am I going to get in there? You can spend that time going in your CRM and making each of those things, those campaigns that go out to buyers or sellers or investors or whatever, and make them personalized. Nobody wants to hear from a can. They want to hear from you. So you can take the time, and that takes a lot of time. So
Yeah.
some of those hours, and don't spend it all day, just a little by a little bit. So that's what I do. Those are my, non-negotiables in the morning of what that looks like.
Mindy, you got your hand up. Do you want to ask something real quick?
Yeah, I have a question just on this. So when you were able to make Power Agent your second year, your non-negotiables in the morning, like what did you do to create that business to close 24 transactions or 10 million? Besides like loving on the agents, like how did you grow your business during your prospecting non-negotiable time?
A lot of them, honestly, they came from referrals. They came from those other agents. Because they came from agents, that are out in a different state, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you work with it?" And they came from a different company.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha. Okay.
talking, that's kind of what's kind of fallen in my lap. But Yeah.
Okay, so I understand because at first it's like, how did loving on agents grow your business? But you were loving on agents in different states, more for a referral
Some
connection.
of it, yeah, yeah, and some of them are, some of them are local. Some people just come to. I've been very blessed in that area. I haven't had to
Oh,
go out door knocking and doing all of that yet. Now, I need to expand. I mean, that's something I need to grow on is expand more and get known more. And I'm fairly new in this area. I lived in a different part of Ohio and don't know a whole lot of people. So I had to rely on what I had. So I'd like to, get
impressive.
more around the area locally.
Gotcha. Thank you.
But you didn't just sit and wait for those things to happen. You made the calls. You were intentional with your time and you were outreaching and connecting. So that's a big part of your success is you're intentional with your time. You don't waste it. Okay, so Heather wants to know how did you find your VA, or better yet, how would you recommend someone find their VA?
Well, you can go through companies. I would not recommend that. I was down that path. I would not recommend that. There is I can if you want to contact me after I don't want to take a whole lot of time on that. If you want to maybe DM me or find my info, I would be happy to talk with you about we don't have that time. But yeah, I've got some helpful things on that because I've been there, done that, and had to go through a couple of them. So
Yeah. And maybe we have you back for a class sometime on all about VAs. And I think you would be a great person to teach the do's and the don'ts on that. But you're right, that might be a little too long. Heather, I'm going to text you Deb's number when we hang up. So another person
And,
said,
and
huh?
Sunny asked that too. And Sunny asked
Somebody
that
asked
too.
the
There's a
same
couple
thing.
people that want to know her VA. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've asked a couple questions already that I think we've kind of helped most of them in here. So now I'm just going to open it up to questions. Who has a comment, an aha moment, a light bulb, or question for Deb? We got about 6 minutes. And don't be shy because I will call on people. They know. If they've been on my call, they know I'm not playing. I will tell you one of my aha moments, Deb, is that you fit it into your entire lifestyle, that you're not a 9 to 5er. You don't turn off the realtor switch. You're a realtor, you identify as a realtor. You incorporate that into all areas of your life. And I love that. I think some people feel like they have to keep that separate from their life. Like this is my life and this is my job. But it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. So I love that you brought that perspective today.
I've seen some great moms, when they're playing, I've seen some cute things, that kind of go along with that. And I'm like, oh, she's a girl at heart. So, just taking your dog for a walk and then making it a part of the same people you come across, in the park. And this lady got known for her dog. And it went out and she would put little bags out and little treats out for the other animals at the park, or a mom that has their kids that they put a little bit of money and put a little advertising on their kids' soccer. There they are enjoying their kids' soccer games, and the kids are running around with their little company on it. You can just think a little bit more and make it part of your date, your children. Kids can run and deliver little things, little door things, or little welcome to the neighborhood things. Make it part of your family.
I love that advice. Thank you.
I do have another question if no one else has a question right now. When you said that you're a researcher and you master your tools, and you really dove into the whole AI side of this business now, right? Which AI tools have you mastered that's helped your systems, and which systems are like running great off of your AI?
Great
My
question.
lofty, yeah, my lofty was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, we all say Lofty's a pain in the ass, but I've heard
So, but
you
it's better than
great.
Katie Core. I will say that. So pick your whatever. But if you take the time to get in there, I would suggest too, if you're having a struggle with that, reach out to Adam Frank. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. He has some great classes that can help through some of that. Um, Automated, anything, just learning. Josh Miller has it right with our company, the AI Pro. Those first ones you probably know. But those last little courses, stop it, rewatch it, stop it, rewatch it, stop it, rewatch it, and use the Chat GPT better than just going to Google. Learn how to train I have my Chat GPT training. I do pay for that, the higher one. And I have a financial advisor in there, a stager in there. I've got, what it can help me with, uh, you name it in real estate marketing, and you train that AI and say, remember this, remember this. And then every time you come back to it, it knows you more and more and can literally flush out whatever that area is that you have this much time to study, and you don't have to go back and redo that. But that goes very quick. Like that's a very quick thing that it took some time to build, but once they're in place, oh, the time it saves. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. So when I do these interviews, I record our initial conversations. AI generates my questions for the interview in a minute. I don't have to think about what am I going to ask her, it structures the interviews. And then because I've trained it, it puts out my YouTube video details, my headlines, my Facebook posts. It does everything for me because I've trained it to do that. And so what used to take me probably hours to do, I think back to when I started YouTube, it used to take me hours to even think about what I was going to talk about and structure it. And now there's no excuses. Like realtors today have no excuses because AI can help so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have a question for Deb or something that just resonated with you that you want to share? Come on, you guys. Don't be shy. Michelle Monastra, calling on you. And then I'm going to call on Kay. Kay Tolbert, you're next. Michelle Monastra, talk to us.
Hey, well, it's interesting, that you bring up the AI and Lofty because I was like, oh my gosh, I have been paying for the AI and Lofty. I totally forgot about it. I probably need to start using it.
And you're talking
So,
about because when you, just for those that are listening to this call that are with Epic AI is free for new leads that come in. But if you imported leads when you joined into Lofty, you have to pay for the AI for those leads.
well, and I think I want to say, and this is where I'm saying, like, there is an extra AI and Lofty that they talked about at PowerCon. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I signed up and paid for it, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. I don't know
But
either. So you got me lost on
I,
that one.
Is it the
I,
$29 one? Same. I don't know what
yeah,
I'm doing.
yeah. See, maybe we just need to like, I don't know, do a Zoom call with Adam Frank, and he can like help us out at the same time.
There you go.
Um,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, no, it's a lot of honestly great tips and like kicking my rear end of, okay, yes, I need to do this. And you're absolutely right, Vicky. We have so many tools at our fingertips. I think for me, like, I guess probably the question that I would ask is a lot of times I get overwhelmed and I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start because there are so many cool things we can use. So if that's the case, like, which one should we really just head down, get started with? Like, what's the top priority?
Whichever one you're going to use.
I'd
What's
say
the most
Lofty.
user? Some of them look different. You have your own personality of what's the most user friendly for you. They're all going to look foreign, but which one looks the best that, once this is set, and then tap into some people who have used it. Don't take a whole lot of time and just make your decision and go with it. You're not going to go wrong with any of them. Just one that you're going to use, and don't get so pulled by all. There's just so many of them. I don't really think you're going to go wrong with them. It's just because you got to set it up behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going to do, whatever looks good to you, that you're going to be able to do behind the scenes and stay faithful with it, even if it's small, it's something. And you're training yourself, and then you'll push yourself and grow a little bit more in that.
Thank you.
Such an inspiration. I couldn't homeschool one child, much less nine. I just don't know how you do what you do. I'm so impressed. But you did it because you really had to do it, right? Like there was the part of what you did because you had to do it. And when you have to do something, you might as well do it well. Do it all in. Give it 100%.
Some of it. Yeah, some of it. Some of it's your own philosophy. Grant Cardone was kind of, I have that kind of mindset. Some of us are little rebels, and I wanted my kids also just to embrace things in life. I mean, they're boys, and I have one son. He would not. He stood all the time. So I'm like, okay, you could go stand at the island and do your spelling over there, your writing over. And he stood. And today, as a 30-year-old man, he has a stand-up desk. People have different learning styles. So
Yes.
that's more my heart is who are you, and
And
or
adapt.
giving people autonomy. People don't
Yeah.
like to be told what to do all the time. So even with my own children, I'm like, well, you don't have a choice with, reading something with Shakespeare, but which two or three would you want? Which sounds? You want to do, King Lear? You want to do Romeo and Juliet? Which sounds good to you? Julius Caesar. Okay, let's do that. So there, you can't do it all, and give people autonomy. And practice your own autonomy. You know, life
Love
is
that.
there's yeah.
Life is what? You were saying something, I interrupted you.
Oh, life there's room for all of us, and and respect people and meet them where they're at and help the next person just do the next best thing. That's how you get to the big stuff. Just do the next best thing.
Great advice. All right, last person I'm gonna call on Kay. Kay Tolbert. So glad to see you on this call. What did you get out of today's call? Because you're new into real estate. You're fairly new, and this is a good time to get your systems in place and find out who you are and be authentic. What'd you get?
For me, it was just the being authentic and being consistent and going after it every day.
Yes, because you also work another job. And so for those of you that are new in real estate, a lot of times you do have to work your real estate around your other job. And I don't like the word part-time real estate agent because you can actually be a full-time agent with a part-time job. Don't be a part-time agent with a full-time. Don't get it twisted. You want to be real estate always. Even if you have to work somewhere else temporarily, be real estate always. So Deb, any final thoughts or close? You want to close us out with something? This has been great. I really appreciate you bringing your perspective, and I could see how you are a power agent in 2 years. I could totally see it. When you set your mind to something, you're unwavered. I can see it. I love it.
And I still have so much to grow. No, I just appreciate you, Vicky. I love that you're such an encourager to so many of us at Epic. And that's one thing that you can obviously tell I'm a family person. And that's why I choose here because I get this feeling of family. Another sister going through something, another brother going through something. I've seen everybody support, and I support all of you in your wins. If you ever guys go through something, I'm a good listener. And I don't tell people what to do. I kind of help you get into where whether that's organizing, what do you have and where can we meet it and how can we make it work? Just like you do with houses with your clients, right?
Yes.
So
And are you
it's a
are
family.
you
It's
an
a family.
are you an area leader right now, Deb, or are you becoming one, or what's going on with that?
I'm not. I'm not. Again, I'm gonna stay focused. Maybe one day, years ago, Reed is our great area leader, and he can handle a lot. He is fantastic.
He
And
is. I love him.
maybe somewhere down the road, again, you can't do all the things. And
And
I'm
right
there.
now you're still building, but you've already started. Fantastic. Okay, I put Deb's number in the chat. And of course it's is it Deb Herres at epic.me? Is that your email? Or is it Deb Harris at epic.me?
Me. Mhm.
So there's Deb's contact information in the chat, you guys. She's offered to help, especially for VA stuff. So if you want her to guide you in the right direction, reach out to her for guidance. Deb, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I know I'll see you soon. You're not too far from me. We'll have to make something happen.
Absolutely.
Meet in Kentucky. Go hang out with Brian Bell and his crew.
Yes. Yes.
There
He's
you
a
go.
fantastic. Again, another wonderful part of success. So
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'll see you next time.
thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.